8200 is just such a great machine, especially if you're a person that's maybe never had a full-size machine and you're wanting to upgrade and you're wanting to do it at a certain price point. This one is really for you. I love, again, the package that Janome puts together with the machines is what makes them such an incredible value. So I'm gonna start by showing you the front of the machine. And this, as I said, is a full-size machine. So 11 inches from the needle to the side of the machine. So an 11-inch throat space, that 5-inch height. You have beautiful LED lighting right on the inside of the bed so that you could really see your fabrics beautifully. But you also have that lighting right at the needle where it's really important to be able to see. I wanted to show you on the table the 14 accessories that you're getting with the machine. So this one in particular I like to go over. This is the convertible free motion foot with the 2 adapter bottoms. And what I like about this particular foot is that this is an $89 value on its own, and it's being thrown in with the machine. So I love that value that you get. But this particular free motion foot, I'm able to change out my bottoms from a closed toe to an open toe to an echo foot. And this one is height adjustable. So I am able to adjust with this screw how high or how low that foot rests on my quilt, as well as whether it hops or not. So I really like this foot, and you're getting your other feet along with that one that'll get you started for quilting, for sewing, for crafting, for home deck sewing. So you have a really nice variety of feet. You may have noticed that there is also a plate on the table. You are getting 2 plates with this machine. And the one that I am holding up, and I'm going to put some fabric behind it to make it easier to see, is the straight stitch plate. If you've purchased plates, you know this is another pricey item that Janome is including. But I want to show you something very special about the Janome straight stitch plate. It not only has that center hole for a center needle position, but it also has the right and left needle position for this. And you're going to notice that that right and left are ovals and not a circle. So this is going to allow you not only to get your accurate 1/4 inch, but to be able to do a scant 1/4 inch with that straight stitch plate. Now, you'll notice that the plate, I'm going to bring that back, has no screw holes in it. So this is not screwed on and off. So you're going to ask Alba, how am I getting this plate on and off of the machine? This has what is known as an easy off plate system. So right at the bottom over here where I'm tapping my fingers is a release for the plate. And look at how easily one comes off and one goes on. So just with a press of a finger, look at how easy that is to change out those plates. So you're getting both that straight stitch plate and that zigzag plate. I love the way these pop on and off. And it's the little details that Janome really pays attention to that I love. They not only gave me 2 plates, but they gave me 2 covers with that too. So I'm not having to search for my plate covers when I switch those on and off. I really like that little detail to just little attention to little details like that. On this particular model, the 8200, there are 170 built-in stitches, and there are 3 alphabets as well. So I could do lettering with this really nicely. Now I'm going to show you just how easy it is to maneuver and navigate in the machine. You're going to notice that everything is printed on my lid to my machine, so I always have my reference guides to my stitches. And over here in the red, these are the stitches that are appropriate for that straight stitch plate that you're getting. And I have modes, mode 1, mode 2, all the way going to mode 6. And I have a mode button on the front of my machine. So when I press that and go into mode 2, all I have to do is type in that number stitch that I want, and I get a preview of that. And you're going to notice 9mm wide stitches. So let me show you how beautiful those stitch out. This is one that I like to do on my bindings for my quilts. And I'm going to end that pattern. I touch that locking stitch, and I have that scissor button that cuts that needle and bobbin thread. Look at how beautiful and how wide. Just what a difference that 9mm stitching makes. Just brings the detail to those decorative stitches right up to that fabric, just giving you incredible detail. Now, because I have that 9mm stitching, I have 91 needle positions, and I am going to show that to you. So when I am pressing that, you're going to notice my needle is moving now all the way to the right. I'm going to have it go all the way to the left. And I have 91 positions. So that little beeping that you're hearing is one position that needle is moving. And you barely see it moving. That's why I press and hold and move it all the way over so that you could see that. And why is that important to me? Well, if I want to top stitch and I want to do my stitching, I may not want to move my fabric into the middle of the foot. It may be much easier for me to move my needle and get that stitching all the way at the edge and give me a nice, accurate result than moving my fabric. So I love the fact that I have that 91 needle positions to move that around. And Janome is known for just how beautifully the machine feeds. It has what's called a superior feed system. And I'm going to show you what that really means when you're sewing. I am going to come forward, I'm going to go in reverse and come forward again. And I'm at full speed of 800 stitches a minute. And look at how accurately that fed that fabric. I wasn't even holding on to that. So it's just going to make you a better sewist. Your projects are going to be completed more professionally, and you're going to get that more accurate result. Now I have a nice variety of applique stitches, and I'm going to go to one of them. So I am in mode 1 and I am typing number 37, and it's going to bring me to those stitches. Now with applique, a lot of people think that it's very fussy because they have to stop and pivot and move their fabric. But look at that, with that superior feed system, how effortlessly I am able to move my fabric. I did that beautiful curve. Look at that. So without having to stop and start and all of that fussy type of sewing, I am able to do that. And you'll notice that I'm working with a stop start button. I love to sew with the stop start button. And let me show you one of the tips and tricks with that button to give you the accuracy that you would like. So you've seen me start with that. But when I press and hold, look at how slowly I'm able to see each needle penetration to allow me to stop very precisely. Notice when I let go, that needle just dropped to the down position and it stopped immediately. And that will allow me to turn my fabric and do my perfect corners. And look at that beautiful corner I'm able to achieve. Now for a lot of people, when they start applique, you want to make sure that your needle is going to drop right in the correct spot. So I can also press and hold and really be careful and really move my fabric so that I'm in the correct position. So it will allow me to do that not only at the beginning, but also at the ending of my stitch. Now the machine is really smart. It knows I'm at the ending point, and when I press that the second time, it stopped for me so that I am able to do that beautiful stitching. I'm going to go to a different stitch, and let me come over here to number 64 in mode 2. So you'll see how easily I'm able to navigate and maneuver through those stitches. And I'm actually going to go to 65. Now one of the feet that come with the machine is that beautiful open toe foot, which is really nice to use with decorative stitching. It really allows you to see what you're doing. And you'll notice that the feet are snap on, snap off, so I was able to switch from one to another effortlessly. And I am going to show you with those 9mm stitches, one of the things that I really like to do is something called stitch stacking. And I'm going to create the look of lace with my decorative stitches. So here is the center of my lace, and now I'm going to go back to that number 64, and what I'm going to do is I am going to line up my previously sewn stitch right on the inside of my foot so I barely see it. And what's going to happen is when I stitch this next stitch, it's going to kiss and touch, and it's going to make it look even wider than that 9mm is capable of going. So you see how I have a lacy effect, and now I'm going to do that on the opposite side as well. And wouldn't that be beautiful on a hem, on a neckline, along the front lapel of the jacket? And I just love the sound, the quietness of that Janome. And look at how beautiful that is. Doesn't that just look like a piece of lace that was laid down on the fabric? All with my Memory Craft 8200. You're going to find that the results of whatever it is that you're sewing are just going to be improved and be just so beautiful because you have that professional result and that capability that the machine is giving you. One of the features that I like is my tension. This machine does have auto tension, so I can go from thick to thin and everything in between, and it adjusts for me. But I'm also able to adjust that to be exactly what I want. Now to go from thick to thin, I'm going back to my A foot, my standard foot. And I normally go from thick on to thin fabric, but today I'm going to show you just the opposite. To go from 2 layers of fabric up to 8 layers of fabric. And I'm just going to slow my machine down so you could see what I'm doing. As I am sewing, and I'm going to go to a straight stitch to make this a little bit easier. As I'm approaching that hump, I am going to press and hold that leveling button, and it is just going to just go right over that mass. And it did that without skipping a stitch, without any fuss, and I could do that in the opposite direction as well. Just handles all of that effortlessly. Now on this particular side, that was 8 layers, and I'm going to bring that to 10 layers of fabric. I have to go to that extra high lift in order to get that underneath the foot, but watch how easily it is going to go through all of those layers without problem. So I'm able to sew through something that heavy and go back to something thin without even thinking about that. Effortlessly. And I am able to just maneuver, and that feeding capability, and even going off the fabric, my machine could handle that without a problem. So you know this is a machine that is going to be a workhorse in your sewing room. It is going to give you the ability to do thick, thin, and just do what you need to do, and it's going to absolutely work for you. Now I had shown that extra high lift, and I want to show that to you again. So when I lift once, here's my lift, my fingers are barely getting underneath there, but I have that extra high, and now my fingers fit all the way underneath that, which makes it really nice when you are working with really thick fabrics. Look at that, that's about 1/4 of an inch of fabric that is under there, and that just allows you to work with those thicker items, those home deck items. And that beautiful 800 stitches a minute that allow you to get through everything that you need to get. So this is one machine that, like I said, if you're looking to upgrade and go to that full size, you're wanting to do your home deck projects, you're wanting to do your quilting projects, this is a machine that I think you're really going to love. And I know it's going to be that workhorse machine that will get you through all of those projects effortlessly. So I just wanted to again show you, on the front of the machine, you have your quick selections for your most commonly used stitches. So my straight stitch I have right available there. My straight stitch with my needle all the way to the left position, my zigzag, and my 1/4 inch piecing stitch. Because this machine has a 9mm stitch width, you do not want to do your 1/4 inch piecing with the needle at that center position. So it needs to be moved to that 8.3 in order to get that accurate 1/4 inch piecing. And the button and the tab for that is right in the front. So it allows you to quickly go to the stitches that you're using the most right on the front of the machine. I really like that. A lot of thought went into that. And a lot of safety features are also built into the machine. You're seeing how quickly and easily I am able to snap on and snap off the feet. I love those snap-on feet. And again, you're getting 14 accessories with the machine. So let me go through some of the feet that you are getting. So the one that I have on the machine is my F foot. And this is an all-purpose crafting foot. I showed you the A foot with that leveler button, and that allows you to go over a hump or just a thickness in fabric because it stiffens the foot, allowing it to go over that. The open toe foot for doing decorative stitches. My 1/4 inch foot. My overcasting foot. A blind hem foot. A rolled hem foot. The foot to sew on buttons, a zipper foot, and 2 different free motion feet. So that free motion foot, the first one that you're going to get is a regular darning foot that you might be familiar with. And then we give you a little bit more of an advanced or an upgrade to that. And this is the convertible free motion foot. So this one is height adjustable, and the bottoms screw on and screw off so that you're able to get a closed toe option, a open toe option, as well as one for doing echo stitching. So I love that you're getting all of these feet. You're really going to open up this box and be able to start with all of your sewing projects, all of your quilting projects, and everything in between those as well. I love the fact that Janome gives you such a great package with the machine. And one thing I wanted to show you, and I'm going to try and do this without getting clumsy, is the top of the machine. To show you those molded compartments to hold all of those feet. I love the way that is in there. So I am not struggling looking for feet. Everything has a home, everything has a place. I just wanted to show you that because that is one of the things that I really loved about the 8200 is that I have a place for everything and everything has a home so that I am not struggling when I need to find one of my feet that come with the machine. How the AccuFeed works is the foot has an upper feed dog system and a lower feed dog system. So that AccuFeed system has that upper feed dog, and it walks along that fabric and controls both the layers of fabric as you are sewing. And I'm going to try and remove the foot I have on here and put that on so that you can see that. And just bear with me, I'm working backwards from behind the machine so that you could actually see what I'm doing and you don't have my hands right in front of you. Which is sometimes easier said than done. So as that foot goes onto the machine, it has a hook in the back that connects into the machine and snaps into the machine. And I need to come around to the other side, I think. when I snap that hook in, it's connecting, and that's what makes it built in. So when I talk about that upper feed dog system, I am going to go to a straight stitch just so it moves slowly. You'll notice those feed dogs up top are coming and just walking and moving that fabric around, controlling that fabric. And I'm still able to utilize and get full control of the machine. And that system is really a great system to use, especially if you are putting on binding on a quilt. So that is my go-to foot for doing binding. And I am going to show some binding that I did with that AccuFeed right here. So when I do binding, I do that completely by machine, and that AccuFeed system helps control all of those layers of fabric, and I get a beautiful result on the front and on the back.